By now, I know that your brains are roaring because you've had so many sessions that has had so much good information put into your store. Lions Club International recognizes that each region in the United States is different, and it has different issues and it has different opportunities. This unit is the only one that is not crafted by LCI. They asked that someone in the region design a module that speaks to the needs that we have. And so this particular one is for the entire state of Mississippi. Do we face the same obstacles, issues, and opportunities? Many times we do. I conducted an informal evaluation on social media, just asking people what their main concerns were in their clubs. And we did not differ that much from other Lions clubs in other states or other countries. But does that really tell the whole picture of what is going on for us here in the state of Mississippi? Does it show the whole picture when it comes to meeting the needs of our communities? Let's look at the session's objectives. At the end of the session, participants will be able to identify issues for Lions in Mississippi, identify opportunities for Mississippi Lions, and identify supports and resources for both issues and opportunities. Most everybody polled in my informal poll repeated the same major categories as issues in their club: recruiting, retaining the members that they had, and fundraising. Can you all kind of identify with those? Those are the overarching issues that everyone mentioned. Recruiting new members, retaining the members that we have, and fundraising to be able to support the projects that we do for our communities. For these issues, there are opportunities for our clubs to seize. Think about what an opportunity might be with retention, recruiting, fundraising. First of all, we have the opportunity to grow our clubs with diversity. We get, with that diversity in our clubs, more innovation because we have people who are thinking outside the box differently than perhaps we have. And it helps us understand the needs of our communities and of our members in our club. We can look at our issues as opportunities to diversify our clubs. And the more that our clubs represent the communities in which we live, the more likely it is that the club will begin to truly understand what the needs of your community is. Stepping outside the box, we can use innovative ways to revitalize our clubs. Watch this short video and prepare to be motivated to strengthen your own club.
Silly's Lions is for 400 members, making us the largest club in the United States.
Almost every major event that goes on in the city, the Lions participate in or are managing it.
I want to thank everyone for coming out today. It's a beautiful sunny day.
10 years ago, we had a strategy called, "If you build it, they will come." What we did was we lionized our community to the point where they would ask us, "How do I get involved?" Visibility is a huge thing for us. Our van is everywhere we go. Even if we don't need it, we bring it with us. And we're trying to keep the community always knowing that Lions are involved.
You put up a sign that says, another project by the Seal Beach Lions Club. We have those pop-up tents that have our name on them.
They walk up to us all the time at projects and say, tell me more about what you're about.
All of those things help with marketing, and that's key to attracting other members.
We looked at our traditions and we said, are they relevant? We had to make a lot of changes to traditions.
There are some things that need to give way in order to be able to attract the younger crowd. People under the age of 30 are not into vests, but they will wear a t-shirt.
We've grown by being able to bring youth into what we do.
The Seal Beach Lions Club sponsors 2 different Leo's clubs, and we all work together.
They can do so many different things. They learn all these leadership skills.
I joined the Leo's Club because I wanted to serve my community and meet new people.
We have 120 Leos, and many of those Leos have become Lions themselves.
I was a Leo up until 18, and I went to college, came back, and became a Lion.
I first got involved with the Seal Beach Leos when I was about 14 or 15 years old. A friend invited me into the club, and it was just a lot of fun. It's really nice to be able to bring your family and friends to Lions events, to have them enjoy the event, and then also hook them to hopefully become Lions and want to give back to the community as well.
If you do have a passion for a project in your community, the Lions Club is so diverse and has so many great people within the club that they'll take on your project and you'll see it come to fruition.
We have over 120 service projects a year.
We love new ideas. We're always looking for new projects. It allows us to have a really good broad base of members who can pick the projects that fit their lifestyle.
I saw the projects that the Lions Club and Seal Beach were doing and how much fun they were all having and how much satisfaction they all seemed to be getting from it. And I said, I want to be a part of that.
I have a unique position as a Seal Beach Lion and also a Seal Beach lifeguard. I'm able to see that kind of full circle with the beach wheelchair. And this community has given me so much, being born and raised here, and now it's a good feeling to be involved with the Lions and the Lions projects.
So what were the major takeaways that you got from seeing that video? They changed. Somebody else?
Motivation.
Right. Anybody else?
There's a comment here.
Well, start young.
Start young. How many Leos did they say they had?
220.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. Even though it is not likely that any of our clubs represented here will become the size of Seal Beach with 400 members. They are the largest club in the United States. The things that they did to get to be that size and provide that amount of service to their community, we can use their tactics and their experience. And so what I would like you to do, we're not going to move right now to the tables, but we're going to use our same groups, these 4, 3, 3, and 4. And what I would like you to do is talk for about 10 minutes how the video was inspiring to you, and tell the group afterwards what the 3 main light bulb experiences were for you. The 3 light bulb moments that you saw when you saw the video about how they go about serving their communities. So take about 10 minutes, and then we're going to share that with the group.
Go back to the table.
You can stay where you are. You can just stay here.
Motivation, I mean, they were motivated, they had, And they all working together. The Leos, which is something I'm trying, but you know, it's kind of hard when one man is good, who does the Leos. But I'd like to see that in Corinth, is we got that. Get my niece and nephews, because they're, you know, but getting around is what I'm trying to do with the rest of my members.
And that's hard.
It's hard because everybody is so.
It's like $125 to start the club.
It's $100 to start it each year. I mean, you pay $100 to support them each year. And if you have more than the initial 10 packets, then you do have to pay a little extra.
But we're still going.
You are, and you've got a good club.
One thing that means,
Do we have light bulbs shining in here?
we got 2, we need 1 more.
You'll come up.
Now, one thing that popped out at me, of course, being part of Seeing Sun Camp, was the beach wheelchair. Now, we borrow ours for Seeing Sun Camp because we have that rough terrain we can't ride with those big wheels. But we have found that we can service more people that need that type when we have that wheelchair. So just seeing them use it, but they were using it for an elderly person that maybe would not be able to go to the beach.
Right.
So that's what's jumped out at me.
Yeah, because you're a beach club.
Yeah, we're a beach club, and of course, we don't go to the beach, but we are on Back Bay.
Right.
Hey, we got the same thought process. I just thought of that. We can get Scametta and like Palm Beach cleanup, or Back Bay, or whatever cleanup. Wait, is that your
We used to do beach cleanup, but we did Deer Island.
And is.
It's been a while since COVID.
My dad, we have a budget, we carried at least 30 people.
I think so.
Okay. Does everyone have 3 light bulb moments already?
I'm gonna get the beach cleanup on mine.
I think you do. All right. Who would like, which group would like to be the first to share? Thanks.
I was curious how many projects they had per month. 127 projects equals to 10 and a half projects per month. So you would have the inclusivity of the backing lot, adult Leo. I don't know if there's more than 1 club as far as the adults are concerned, but for 2 Leo clubs, I'm assuming they have, you know, 2 different adult groups backing. But that's a lot of motivation.
Yes, it is.
That's a lot of motivation. And like Michael said, it seems like the whole community
It
is
does.
involved in
It does.
supporting them. They got the excitement.
You remember them saying they lionized Seal Beach?
Yes.
They got involved with everything that Seal Beach was involved with, and Biloxi does that. A lot of the things that y'all do are the same sorts of things that other clubs in our town do. But y'all have the beauty reviews, you're in charge of the Mother of the Year, that sort of thing. They have lionized Biloxi. All right, you guys, what stood out to you?
It's like you had a lot of enthusiasm and took a lot of pride in what they were doing in the show.
That's a great point. You can't help but when you watch it, get excited about lions.
I like the van. I said, I wish it's something I could, get a van, put lines all over it, and ride around town in it.
Right.
It's advertising.
Need that.
It's recruitment.
Well, we did that with the trailer to a
Right.
certain degree, but they've really taken it a step further, and that's, like they said, whether they needed it or not, they took it. So that's something that we can take away from that we may not be able to afford a van, but we can always have some Lion, flyers and posters and banners and that sort of thing as we are doing.
I said it one time, we need to start buying this at Walmart.
Right, where, that's true.
I went to back a few months ago to a tornado disaster. And when I got there, I noticed a yellow and blue with Lions Club on the side, and this trailer was loaded down with toilet paper. It was loaded down with all kinds of dry goods and stuff that they had collected and brought there for that disaster.
It made you proud, didn't it?
Yeah, it made me proud because I actually got to meet some of the Lions in the area. When I told them I was a Lion, we started interacting our clubs and what their club does and what mine does. So it was a lot of good feedback from each other.
That's great. Okay. Do you have something to share?
That's pretty much what we had said, okay.
Well, I was thinking, so back whenever I was really just catering mainly, I went to Vistaprint and I ordered one of those car magnets, and it was really inexpensive. It was only probably maybe $10, $15, and I thought that would be an inexpensive way for each of our Lions Club members in Biloxi to put that on their car, and it wouldn't hurt their car at all. And that way people could see Lions Club, because it really is. I love what he said, build it and they will come, and that is so true.
That is true. All right, let's look more closely at our issues. We've identified membership as our major issue, and that includes both recruiting and retaining members. What are some reasons our clubs may be experiencing problems? Put it all over. It may be because we're losing members, because our clubs are aging. We've talked about that before. And also, if someone comes to a club and they are really interested in working with a particular, let's say they're interested in helping do vision screening, but as we've talked about, we have just arbitrarily put them into another committee that has nothing to do with their interest. And I think a lot of times people feel like that service is lacking when we're doing the same service projects over and over and over. So how do we turn our issues, as we discussed before, that we have opportunities such as diversity and innovation and understanding needs? If we're losing members, why are we not starting Leo clubs and starting them young as they were doing in Seal Beach, getting them interested and maybe even getting their parents interested? We need to collaborate. We're here collaborating with clubs from across the state, all the way from North Mississippi to the coast. We need to do that more and more because there's lots of ideas out there besides our own. And then we need to tell our story. We've talked about that at this session, at this seminar, about telling our story. A very short piece of material that we prepared, just telling people why we are Lions and what it is that is being accomplished by us and why we think that they might want to join us. How do we take the issues of losing members, having an aging population in our clubs, and providing mediocre service that usually does the same projects year after year? And everybody presented some great takeaways from the video. Starting the Leo Club, collaborating. You practiced the 1.5 speech in that session. Now you just need to practice it and make it your own and use it to recruit. LCI did a survey in 2020 to find out from members why they were leaving. 45% of people cited lack of time as a reason for leaving. 21% cited personal reasons such as health, relocation. 15% cited club-related issues such as leadership and communication. 12% cited service-related challenges, limited projects that didn't interest them, and 7% cited administrative burdens such as paperwork. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. Does that sound like that in 2020, those things are still pretty true in 2024? I want you to find a partner, just the person next to you, two, and all around, and take about 5 minutes as one person in your pair presents a problem that your club may be experiencing, and the other person will listen and try to help turn that into an opportunity. Just like we said that with an aging population, that we could start Leo clubs, talk to your partner and let the two of you talk about obstacles and opportunities. You have like 5 minutes. And I know y'all are getting really tired, but your brains are still going.
Projects. Motivation, it's lately it's been me making these decisions and as a group. Really all we do is just sit back. Yeah, we do our applications, but at the end of the meeting, it's like, what do you think we should do? And I already deal with it another way. I don't want to be the only man to make all the decisions because we're a group, and there's no I in team. So.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to be a double when you've got somebody sitting. Y'all just share, you share on this side. So, your truest friend, that's
we actually, these are old projects. So all you do is announce the dates of the project.
You don't try to that member survey. It's a member survey, you can download it and fill it out. We go to 6 weeks. And we send it out email
Did comment we can't. I said, I understand there's 4 ways in this road, but there's only 3 that remain. I mean, that other one was just about just through there. But the main one we need to focus on is that main road. That's the main track.
That's fine.
for the We used to do the
All right, I
ice
think
cream.
everyone has, may I have
Can tell just standing out there.
I think everyone has had a chance to,
Middle of the road, and you gotta say, hey, your best looks like traffic is flowing, we don't try to, we wait till, we just stand there.
time. Thank you. I think everybody has had a chance to give a problem and have the other person share an opportunity and vice versa. We're gonna just do one volunteer for time's sake. Whoever jumps up first, I can tell that they both want to do it so badly. Who would like to share what their obstacle and opportunity was?
I will, I'll get it over with.
Okay.
Do I have to stand up?
No.
Good. So, my thought was, whenever I was first asked to join the Lions Club, I'm not gonna be able to make it to every meeting. I don't wanna join the Lions Club. I feel like I let everybody down, because I can't be there for every Wednesday lunch. And then our treasurer reached out and said, well, we have Zoom meetings. And I said, well, there you go, I'm in. So that was it. It was a problem, and then an opportunity.
Right. And we can do the same thing in our clubs, correct? I mean, Zoom meetings really do solve a lot of issues. This slide is something that I saw, I believe it was on the Global Forum. I'm not really sure exactly where I did see it, but I thought it was such a great idea. What they've done is they've taken pictures of service projects that their club did. And then they've written a little cartoon style explanation above it. For instance, the first one says, I'm one of 750,000 kids tested in Iowa by KidSight. The next one says, isn't it wonderful that Lions are helping to supply food pantries in need? And so on. You can see how you could take just 3 pictures and put an explanation, print those out the size of a piece of paper, and pass them out to prospective members as you are telling them about your club. You could also make a great big poster at Walmart and put out at your activity, and it wouldn't cost very much at all. I just thought this was very eye-catching and a good way to tell without having to talk a whole lot. So far, we've discussed issues and opportunities that are relevant to our club in Mississippi, but does that tell the whole story? What are some of the issues that our Mississippi clubs might have that Alabama might not have, or Montana might not have? What are some issues that are specific to Mississippi? Economy. That's one of the first things. What else? Oh, you guys know what's going on in Mississippi? Yes, ma'am.
People like to receive instead of give.
Yes, diabetes. As a matter of fact, do you know what the leading cause of death is in the state of Mississippi, and in the United States, and in the world? Heart disease, which starts many, many times from diabetes, just like you mentioned. And Mississippi is one of the leading states. We're not the leading. Alabama has that, I believe. But that is a problem. So the economy, healthcare. One more?
Bridging off what he said, just overall income level there.
Yes.
Mississippi is way down the list.
Yes. What opportunities do the issues, let's just take the 3 issues that we talked about. the economy, healthcare, the fact that we have an alarming amount of diabetes leading to heart issues. What are the opportunities as a Lions Club that we could do to help those issues?
We could have a diabetes awareness prevention. We could have a move program for either the Leos or even the adults. I mean, I know if someone invited me to go walk at the park, I'd be like, I'm in. Walk the beach. It's better to do it with someone than by yourself. And if someone's holding you accountable for your actions, I think you're more likely to take those healthier steps.
And the Lions can do that. I mean, we can promote those kinds of things. What else can we do as Mississippi Lions for our state that has those three specific issues? What can we do knowing that our economy is very, very depressed? What can we do as a club?
Maybe try to sponsor.
Food drive.
Food drive. That's the one that I think of first. All right, let's look a little bit closer. How can these issues, the ones that we've discussed, we discussed the very first one that you said was the first one that I said, the poverty level that we have in Mississippi. And the solution, the opportunity that you even said, is having a food bank or a food drive. We are in a unique situation in Mississippi. Healthcare. Imagine that I have healthcare, and Kendall mentioned that as one of the very first things. Education and youth. We are now, in the state of Mississippi, number 35 in education. And that is absolutely wonderful. However, I mean, we used to be 50th or 49th, 50th, 49th, all the time. We've come up. But Leo clubs can really help our youth by giving them leadership opportunities that they may not ever have otherwise. Because Leos are not dependent on income or status. Anybody can be a member, and anybody can go to the Boys Leadership Conference or the Girls Leadership Conference. Another thing that is very a staggering fact is that we rank with health care near the bottom of almost every leading health outcome. The leading cause of death in Mississippi is heart disease, as it is in the United States and the world. Mississippi ranks as one of the unhealthiest states in the United States. We also have a very high rate of uninsured citizens in our state, and we have a lot of problems with our citizens with blood pressure issues. Diabetes is also a contributing factor to developing heart disease, as we said. Another issue that we have in our state is we have the highest incarceration rate of any state in the United States. But get this, we are not even in the top 10 of the states that have the most crime.
That's because they only have 3 million people.
Okay? Let that sink in.
It's the truth.
We are not even going to go to where we discuss why that is the way it is, but it is. And without good role models, our kids are not gonna have the same opportunities as students in other states. Lions Quest, most of you may know about Lions Quest. It is a wonderful program that we're gonna talk about in just a minute and see a 4-minute video to help with promoting Lions Quest for the incarceration rate that we have for our students and young adults. I want you to take out your pen, and during this 4-minute video, I'd like for you to write down one statistic or fact that stands out to you when you watch this overview of the Lions Quest program.
Hello, I'm Jerome Thompson. I'm so excited to talk with you today about Lions Quest and the coalitions that we're building between juvenile justice systems, Lions clubs, and community groups who are serving youth. And when we bring everyone together, several have asked, what do the Lions do? Well, let me tell you, Lions brings the most important part of the partnership together, and that is Lions Quest, owned by our own foundation. And for 30 years, we've been using Lions Quest in the traditional classroom. But we've discovered that our at-risk youth in our communities are not receiving the benefit of our premier social emotional learning program, Lions Quest. And so we bring the most important element, a 16-week curriculum together to help our youth understand the life skills that they need to find greater success. Are there at-risk youth in our communities? Absolutely. Across the United States, over 700,000 youth will stand before a judge and be adjudicated this year. Every 2 minutes, a child is removed from their home and placed in foster care. Today, if school was open, 14,000 children were suspended or expelled from public schools. There is a need, and our most at-risk children are asking us for the help that they need. Through the social emotional learning, the other thing that Lions bring to the table is that where there's a need, there's a lion. And we sit in the back of the classroom and we learn about the needs, the food insecurity, so we provide food to the juvenile probation office. The need for community service, and we provide the opportunities for community service, and we work with the community for youth to be able to do their community service during school hours. We also understand that sometimes our youth just need to be encouraged. One young man sent his basketball schedule to a Lion and asked, will you come and just watch me play ball? My family never supports me. So the Lions Club showed up to cheer him on. What did that do to his self-esteem? How did it help him along his way? We can never know the impact that we as Lions have by just showing up, just being there. There's such great service opportunities that are unknown to us. But by forming this partnership with our community leaders, our community coalitions, with our juvenile justice system, Lions will meet those needs and improve the lives of our at-risk children. Need more information about Lions Quest? Contact us at lionsquest@lionsclubs.org. Phone Maurice Van Horn, 630-468-6733, or email me at lqchangeslives@gmail.com. We want to help your club make a difference using Lions Quest in your community. Until then, just keep serving, because where there's a need, there's a lion.
Okay, how many of you, by show of hands, were familiar with Lions Quest? So, fewer people knew about it than this is, let me put it this way, this was a new experience for many of you. So let's start around, and I'm gonna ask for volunteers. Tell me what you wrote. What was your one takeaway, your one statistic that stood out to you?
Encouragement. Just encouragement.
Encouragement.
Has a lot. I mean, it's, you know.
How important encouraging
Yeah,
encouragement.
said the Lions Club came and cheered you on.
Yeah, and we can do that.
That
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, Steve?
Someone go into foster care every 2 minutes.
That is a staggering statistic, and I was a foster parent when I was young, and it is a staggering statistic. Yes, ma'am?
700,000 kids that are going to be
Adjudicated.
yes.
700,000. That, it's hard to just fathom. Yes, Allison?
14,000 students are suspended or expelled from school in one day in this country.
And this,
where do they go?
Home.
Alone?
In the
Yeah.
streets.
If they have a home.
Well,
Gang.
yeah, and no one's there at home. Yes,
But
ma'am.
attached to what Allison just said, their Lions Quest program is working out where they can do their community service hours during school hours.
Isn't that great? Why can our high schools not do something similar in our alternative schools where many students find themselves for long periods of time? How could we work with the alternative schools maybe to tell them about opportunities with the Lions Quest and service? Because that's going to make a lot of difference. Anybody over here?
I was just amazed that there is a partnership that the Lions have fostered between the juvenile justice system and community leaders, and it obviously is working.
Yes.
But yet, it doesn't seem like it's working maybe in the areas because we're not aware of it locally.
And that is exactly my point in bringing that up in this particular presentation, is that has been there for many, many years. But yet, most of us have never heard of it. And if we have heard of it, we don't really know what it is. So I would encourage you to do what Jerome said. By the way, if you know him, Jerome is from Alabama. He's from the South. Go to the website and look up Lions Quest and learn more about it. Read this with me. I'll read it out loud. I don't know if you can see it all the way back there. Volunteering
Has a positive impact on future generations by providing role models and creating legacies. Lions have lots of different volunteer opportunities to impact the youth of Mississippi.
This is one of our strongest things that we can bring to our youth. The youth that we have discussed, so many are being adjudicated, so many of them are going into foster care, so many are not getting the opportunities that many of our children were able to have. Sometimes you as a Lion may be the only role model for a student. And it is true, volunteering has a positive impact on the future and on the future generations. We are seeing those of us who are in the age range that remember when everybody was in a charitable organization. Everybody's kids helped and volunteered, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, but now we see how quickly we're losing members in Lions, and it's not just Lions clubs, it's all charitable organizations. And part of that is we are not impacting our future generations because it's changed. So that's something we're gonna have to pick up and step out and be those role models for our students. This is too small for you to see, I'm sure, but this is our ranking scorecard for Mississippi. Our median income is $35,467. These are the cards that we've been dealt. Mississippi's economy ranks 50th among our 50 states. We rank 50th for healthcare. Our citizens' fiscal stability is 45 out of 50. Opportunity for Mississippians is low, the 35th out of 50 states. So how might this information inform our clubs for recruiting members for choosing service projects? It's sobering, isn't it? And I don't want it to be depressing because I'm not telling you anything that you didn't already know. You know that we live in a poor state, but we also are some of the most generous people when it comes to being charitable. It's true. So talk among yourselves and let's talk about in just a couple of minutes, how does knowing that we are kind of at the bottom of the totem pole, how does that change our ideas about our service? Or does it? I see cogs going around in your brains. And like I said, we're in the state of Mississippi. We're here because we want to be. And we're here to make change. So, what are some things that we can do for service projects, knowing that we have folks who may not have enough food, may not have good health care, may not have the opportunities that our children did? What can we do? Or is there anything we can do as Lions? Or can we throw our hands up and go?
Is there a healthcare, like, food box that we can give them all where?
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. What else? Oh, guys, you have got ideas. I know you do.
So you know how the government has gotten involved with school lunches, and a lot of the kids, as long as they apply, their parents can make a little bit more money than the government has been paying for their school lunches, so you don't really have to pay off the debt anymore. But what about field trips? There were times that I could barely afford to send I was a single mom. Sending my kids on field trips was expensive. And
that is an excellent point, because I taught school, for 35 years, and some of my students were some of the poorest in the school. And if they didn't have money for field trips, they had to stay at the school. Yep. So my husband and I gave money to all the regular teachers, and it wasn't a large amount of money, but we were willing to give up something. And we said, do not leave any of our students back at the school because they can't afford that 35 cents or 75 cents to go on the field trip, because those kids deserve to go. So there are some programs that we could get involved in as Lions, just as simple as adopting a classroom and saying, what are your field trips? How many do you have? How many students do you typically not, get money for? That sort of thing. So that's a great idea. Yes, ma'am, Mary?
I constantly hear about the food programs at school where children, old for their lunches, and they refuse food when their account reaches the maximum amount that has not been paid by the parents. I would see that as an opportunity for Lions clubs to step up and sponsor a child, or a club sponsor a certain number of children and pay those accounts.
Absolutely. Write that down and go back to your club, because most schools have what they call an angel account or something similar, and you can add to that. And some schools, none that I taught in, but some schools make a real big deal about singling that child out and giving them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches instead of a regular meal. Yes, Michael?
Well, I don't know if you know, there's a place over in Costa, I can't think of that, there's a lady over there. We've done, our Carnes Club has donated to her. She does after-school meals for children. And a lot of her children, they live in a place called Baxter Trailer, which is a very drug-infested area, I'll be honest with you, it is. Because these kids have even told her, and she drove them to their house, stop at the top of the hill, don't drive down.
Oh, wow.
Because they know they want her safe. They don't want her down there, because they don't want her to be around. But she also sends extra food for their parents. She'll send extra food for the parents to eat, because she wants to make sure the parents,
That's great.
you know, but she makes sure that every kid gets, that can't afford food, or those go home with no food, she's gonna feed them after school. So it's an after-school program.
Many schools, probably every school that's represented here, have a program called the Backpack Food Program. That some club, the junior auxiliary, could be the Lions Club, anybody, provides food for children who they know will not get food when they're not in school, and their families, and they take it home on Friday afternoons. And it's enough food to keep them going for the weekend, because the school knows and that they're not getting food. That's a great Lions program that you can reach out to your school and see if that's something you could be a part of for, say the month of October. Okay, so it's a little overwhelming, and I can tell your faces is overwhelming to even know where do we begin. Well, one way is to use the club and community needs assessment, which is available to every Lion online, and that's a beginning point to get that and fill it out for your community. Lions Club International and Lions Club International Foundation have developed 8 global causes. There isn't a service project under the sun that's not going to fit into one of those 8 global causes. So let's look. Whoops. Okay, this is too small for you to be able to see, but let me just tell you what it's describing, and then we're going to go from there. These are called Quick Start Service Ideas, and it gives you some ideas. I have to get up closer myself to read it. For instance, for hunger, collect food and distribute it. Even up close is hard to read it. The diabetes one I can read more easily, but these are things that you can do that won't take very long. It's not a whole year type of program. Doing a diabetes screening at an event, doing blood pressure screening at an event. But are you aware that LCI has projects that they have designed from the beginning to the end for every global cause? All you have to do is fill in the blanks. They've already figured out how many people you'll need, how long it's going to take, how much it's going to cost, So I want you to go back into your 4 groups, and I'm gonna give, this time we're gonna go to the tables. And I'm gonna give you 2 global causes. This is yours. This is yours. And you can pop video down if you want to, there's another card. All right, and this is yours. All right, there's 2 different global causes that are completely different. I want you to, on the tables, there's a piece of paper and marker. I want you to go and talk about with your group, come up with an assignment, come up with an idea of a project that you could do for each one of those that you're assigned. For instance, they have hunger and environment. All right, it's gonna take 5 minutes.